Fine, guys. Let me go and open one notepad. First, go and open one notepad. And let me keep here. What is the agenda for today's classes? Let me keep here. What is the agenda for today's classes? So in today's class, we'll go and discuss about introduction to Power Platform. Introduction to what? Power Platform. Introduction to Microsoft Power Platform. So in today's class, in the next coming 60 minutes of time, we are going to understand a complete introduction to Power Platform, guys. So we'll understand the different points like what is Power Platform, who will use the Power Platform software, what we can do with the help of Power Platform, and who will hire the Power Platform developers. These are all the points which I'm going to discuss now in today's class. So first of all, let me go and list out those points, guys. First, I list out all the different points which I'll go and cover now in today's class, right? The first point to understand about what is Power Platform. The second point to understand in today's class is what is business applications. And next, the third point to understand in today's class, how to implement the business applications using Power Platform software. How to implement this business applications using Power Platform. And also one more point we understand in today's class, Power Platform architecture. So let me show you the architecture of Microsoft Power Platform. Let me open the architecture. So this is what the architecture of Microsoft Power Platform. So you'll understand the Power Platform architecture by the end of this today's class, guys. What is the architecture of Power Platform? You'll understand by the end of this today's class, right? Fine. Right. So these are all the points which we are going to cover now in today's class. So now, among all those points, first let me go and discuss about what is Power Platform. So now try to understand. For now, at a high level, just try to understand what the Power Platform can do, or what we can do with the help of Microsoft Power Platform. For now, just at a high level, try to understand what things we can implement with the help of Power Platform, guys. Right? So now first point. So within the Power Platform, what we can do, we can create some apps. Within the Power Platform, we can do what? We can create apps. Second point, within the Power Platform, we can create some websites. And within the Power Platform, we can create the chatbots. And within the Power Platform, we can do some automations. And within the Power Platform, we can store the data. It acts as one data source. And within the Power Platform, we can do the data analysis. Within the Power Platform, we can do what? Data analysis. So these are all the 6 things which we are able to implement with the help of Power Platform, guys. So within the Power Platform, what we can do? We can create apps, we can create some website, we can create the chatbots, we can do some automations, we can store the data, and also we can analyze the data. So how we can go and implement all these 6 components within the Power Platform, you'll understand, guys. By the end of this today's class, you will come to know how to implement all the 6 components. And also you'll come to know why we need to implement them. What is the need of this 6 components, you'll understand, right? So for now, just keep in mind at a high level, what things we can do with the help of Power Platform. So there are all the 6 things we can implement. And next point to understand, that is who will use what? Who will use the Power Platform software? And the next point to understand in today's class, that is who will hire the Power Platform developers. So who will hire whom? Power Platform developers. So these are all the points which I'm going to discuss now in today's class, guys. So I listed all the points which I'm going to cover now in today's class. So now we'll go and discuss each and every point in a detailed way. We'll discuss each and every point in a detailed way, right? Fine. So now let me keep here. Among all those points, first we'll try to understand who will use Power Platform and who will hire the Power Platform developers. First, we'll go and understand these 2 points, guys, right? So now try to understand. First, who will use the Power Platform now? let's try to understand, guys. So who will use the Power Platform means, let's say, if there is any company, whatever the company it is, the companies will do what? The companies will do what? They'll do some business, right? So now let's take well-known companies, guys. Let's take an example of well-known companies like Amazon. So let's take Amazon is one company, right? So they are doing some business. What kind of business they are doing? They are doing the e-commerce business, right? And let's take some other company like ICICI. ICICI is one company. They are doing some business. What business? Banking. And let's take some other company like Swiggy. It is one company. They are doing some business. What business? Food business, right? So like this, if you take any company, whatever the company it is, the companies will do what? They'll do some business, right? Okay, fine. We know companies will do some business. But let's take one company here, guys. Let's take Amazon is there. Amazon company is doing what business? Amazon is doing the e-commerce business, right? Now try to understand one point here, guys. Do you people think that Amazon company directly they will go and start doing the e-commerce business? Do you people think that Amazon company directly will start doing the e-commerce business? No. So they are not company is not able to start the business directly. They're not able to start doing the business directly. Or if you take ICICI, they're doing banking business. Now, do you people think that ICICI directly they can start doing the banking business? No. So now what the companies need to do here? So before going to start the business, now what the companies need to do? Companies need to go and implement some applications, guys. Before going to start the business, companies need to do what? They need to go and implement some applications. Now, what applications the companies need to implement? Companies need to go and implement what applications means? Business applications, guys. What applications? Business applications. Let me go and keep that point here. Right, okay. So still now, what we understand, so if there is any company, if the company wants to start any business, then before going to start the business, what the companies need to do? The companies need to go and implement what? Business applications. The companies need to implement what? Business applications. Okay, fine. Before going to start the business, we come to know that companies need to go and implement the business applications. Now, what are called as business applications, guys? Okay, now we need to understand what are called as business applications. Business applications means what? So if you take Amazon or ICICI or Swiggy, Zomato, any company case, if you take any company, now they'll have some business applications. Let's take an example of Amazon. So now here, Amazon company will have the apps or not? Amazon company will have some apps or not? Yes, Amazon company will have some apps. Now Amazon company, they'll have some website or not? Yes, they'll have some websites. And Amazon company will have the chatbots or not? Yes, recently they added the chatbot also. Next, Amazon company will do some automations or not? Yes, they'll do some automations. To do the automations, they need to have an application. And also, Amazon company, they'll have some business data or not? Yes. To store the business data, they need to have an application called what? Data sources. And next, Amazon company will do what? They'll go and analyze the data. They'll do what? Data analysis. Data analysis means what? Analyzing the business data. Now, to do the data analysis, they need to have an application or not? Yes. So these are all called as business applications, guys. If you take any company it is, if you take Amazon, ICICI, Swiggy, Zomato, any company nowadays, so those companies will have the apps or not? Yes, they'll have. They'll have some websites. They'll have the chart. Nowadays, top MNC companies are creating the chartboards, guys. And they'll do some automations. And the companies will store the business data. And also companies will go and analyze their business data, guys. So now, these are all called as what? These are all comes under the business applications. Business applications means whatever the applications the companies are going to use within the business, those are all comes under business applications, guys. App is one of the application in the business. So it is one of the business application. Website, automations, all this comes under the business applications, guys, right? Fine. Okay. Now, as we understand, so before going to start the business, companies need to go and implement what? Business applications. So now, what are called as business applications? Business applications are nothing but these are all comes under the business applications only, guys. These are all comes under where? Business applications. Right. Okay. So now we understand before going to start the business, companies need to go and implement what? Business applications. Now I want to implement this business applications, guys. To implement this business applications, we need to go and use one software. What that software I'm going to use here now? Power Platform. So in order to go and implement all these business applications, we'll go and use one software called what? Power Platform software. Right. So here we understand who will use Power Platform. So who will use Power Platform now? As we come to know, if there is any company, if the company wants to start any business, then before going to start the business, what the companies need to do? They need to go and implement what? Business applications. Now to implement all the business applications, what the softwares the companies are using nowadays? Power Platform. So we understand who will use Power Platform, guys. Companies will use it. And also one more point we understand here. Power Platform is used for what? Power Platform is used for what? It is used to implement all the business applications. Power Platform is used for what? It is used to implement the business applications, right? Okay, here we understand 2 points. Who will use Power Platform? Companies. Also one more point we understand, Power Platform is used for what? It is used to implement the business applications, right? Now, the next point we need to understand. Now, who will hire the Power Platform developers, guys? Who will hire whom? Power Platform developers. Now, for this question also, the answer will be same, guys. Who will hire the Power Platform developers means which company is using the Power Platform software to implement what? To implement the business applications. To implement what? Business applications. The same company will go and hire whom? The same companies will go and hire the Power Platform developers. Now, who will hire the Power Platform developers means which companies are using the Power Platform software? The same companies will go and hire Power Platform developers. So let me go and keep that point here. Right? Yes. Okay. Now, the next point we need to understand why these companies are hiring the Power Platform developers. Why these companies will go and hire the Power Platform developers because Power Platform developers will go and work with which software? Power Platform software. With the help of Power Platform software, Power Platform developers will go and implement what? Business applications. Once after implementing the business applications, with the help of the business applications, companies will start doing what? Business. Companies will start doing what? Business, right? So clearly we understand here who will use Power Platform, who will hire the Power Platform developers, and also Power Platform is used for what? It is used to implement the business applications, right? Okay, fine. Now, let me go and mention that point here. So as we come to know, nowadays, most of the companies are using Power Platform software to implement the business applications. Nowadays, companies are using what? Power Platform software to implement the business applications, right? Okay, fine. And now, next we need to understand from here, we need to understand 2 more points, guys. From here, I need to understand 2 more points. What I need to understand here is, here what I said before going to start the business, what the companies need to do, they need to go and implement what? Business applications, right? Before going to start the business, I said that companies need to implement what? Business applications. Now, why the companies need to implement the business applications before going to start the business? What's the need? What is the need of business applications? This is the first point we need to understand. And the second point we need to understand how to implement these business applications using Power Platform. How to implement these business applications using what? Power Platform. These are the 2 points we need to understand, guys. So let me go and keep those 2 points here. The first point to understand is what is the need of business applications. And the second point, how to implement business applications using Power Platform software. How to implement the business applications using Power Platform software. These 2 points we need to understand, right? So now first let me go and discuss about what is the need of business applications. Why the companies need to implement the business applications before going to start the business. What's the need of them? Let me keep here, guys. Business applications are used to, these are used to implement, these are used to implement or streamline. These are used to implement or streamline. What do you want to streamline? I want to streamline the business process of an organization. Simple. What is the need of business applications? Why the companies need to implement them means because business applications are used to implement or streamline. Now, what do you want to streamline? I want to streamline the business process of the organization. So every organization will have some business process, guys. There is no doubt in that. If you take Amazon, ICICI, Swiggy, any company, every company will have some business process, right? Now my requirement, I want to streamline that business process, guys. So whenever you want to streamline the business process of the organization, must and should we need to go and use what? Business applications. With the help of the business applications only, we are able to streamline the business process of the organizations. With the help of the business applications only, we are able to streamline the business process of an organization, right? Okay. Now we understand what is the need of business applications. These are used to streamline the business process of the organizations, right? Now, from here, I need to understand one more point, guys. From here, we need to understand about what is meant by business process. We use one word called business process. Now, what's the meaning of business process, guys? Let me keep here. Business process will involve in multiple activities, comma, tasks and rules that are used to implement the process of an organization. Simple. What the business process contains? Business process will involve in multiple activities, tasks, and rules, guys. That means if you are doing some business means you'll do some multiple activities there, and we'll do some multiple tasks. While doing these activities and tasks, we need to follow some rules there. Now, by using what you can define all these activities, tasks, and rules means with the help of the business applications. With the help of these business applications, we can implement all these multiple activities, tasks, and rules, which are used to implement the process of your organization, right? Okay. Now here we understand what is the need of business applications and also what is meant by business process. Now, the next point we need to understand how to implement this business applications using Power Platform. How to implement the business applications using Power Platform, right? So now before going to understand how to implement these business applications using Power Platform, we need to understand one point here, guys. What we need to understand here is while implementing the business applications, there is one process we need to follow. So it is not recommended to implement the business applications by your own. So there should be one process we need to follow, guys. That process we'll call it as business applications process. That process we'll call it as what? Business applications process. Let me go and keep that point here. So while implementing the business applications, we understand there should be one process we need to follow. That process we are calling it as business applications process. Business applications process, right? Okay. Now, let me show you the architecture of business applications process, guys, so that you'll understand a better way. Let me open architecture. Business applications process, architecture. Let me go and open this. This is what the business applications process architecture. So while implementing the business applications for any company, Must and should we need to follow this process, guys. So now let's try to understand about this business applications process architecture. So while implementing the business applications, always it is recommended to go and start with front-end applications, guys. While implementing the business applications for any organization, always it is recommended to go and start with what? Front-end applications. This is step one. Always recommended to go and start with front-end. Front-end applications means what? Front-end applications is nothing but apps, websites, and then chatbots. These three will comes under front-end, guys. These three will comes under where? Front-end. Front-end means whatever the applications customers are able to see with their eye. Whatever the applications customers are able to see with their eyes, those comes under front-end. Apps customers are able to see. Website customers can see it. Chatbot also customers can able to see it, right? And second step, second preference is for what? Second preference, you need to go and implement the data sources. Second, we need to go and implement what? Data sources. So what is meant by data sources? Second step is data sources. Data sources means what? The place where the company will store the data. So if you're doing some business means definitely you'll have some business data. Where will store the data? Data sources. Second preference is for data sources. And next, once after data sources, next third preference is you need to give for what? Automation. Third preference is for what? Automation. Now automation is nothing but what? Doing some work automatically without any human interactions. This is the third step. Doing some automations. And then finally, the fourth step is what? Finally, the fourth step is data analysis. Finally, the fourth step is what? Data analysis. Data analysis means what? Data analysis is nothing but showing the data in the form of visuals or reports, guys. These are all the visuals. These are all what? These are all the visuals. So showing the data in the form of visuals or in the form of report, we'll call it as what? Data analysis. So these are the four steps involved in this case. So in this business applications process, how many steps is there? 4 steps. What are the 4 steps? Step 1 is front-end applications. Front-end applications is nothing but creating the apps, websites, and chatbot. Second step is for data sources, the place where the companies will store the data. Third preference is for automations. And then finally, the fourth step is what? Data analysis. So now here we come to know that business applications process is a how many step process? 4 step. Let me keep here. Business applications process is a how many step process? 4 step process. Now these are the 4 steps involved in this. So always while you are implementing the business applications, you need to follow this process, guys. Let's say, irrespective of following this process, let's say if you want to start with the data analysis first, you are not starting with front end. Initially, you want to start with the data analysis, guys. Now it is possible to start with the data analysis initially without having the apps, data sources, all this stuff. No, it is not possible, guys. Initially, you are not able to start with the data analysis. So why we are not able to start with data analysis? Because this data analysis will depends on what? Data sources. So if you want to perform the data analysis, must and should we need to have the data sources, guys. Right? So to perform the data analysis, we need to have data sources. Okay, if you have the data sources, then we can do the data analysis means no. Again, this data sources depends on what? Front-end applications. This data sources depends on what? Front-end applications. And also this automations, it depends on the data sources, sometimes majority of the times, and sometimes it depends on the front-end applications also. So now what we understand here in this, so whatever the 4-step business applications process will have, all these 4 steps are connected with each other internally. All these 4 steps are connected with each other internally. So why these 4 steps are connected and how they are connected, you will come to know. For now, keep in mind, all these 4 steps are connected with each other internally. How they are connected and why they are connected, you will come to know, right? I'll discuss. So let me go and mention that point here. As we come to know, business applications process is a how many step process? It is a 4-step process. It is a 4-step process. What are the 4 steps involved in this? Let me list out. Step 1 is what? Front-end applications. Second step is what? Data sources. Third step is what? Automation. Fourth step is what? Data analysis. So these are the 4 steps involved in this case. These are the 4 steps involved in this. Now we'll discuss what is front-end applications, what is meant by data sources, what is meant by automation, what's meant by data analysis, and how these 4 steps are, how the data analysis depends on the data sources, and how the data sources depends on front-end, how these automations depends on the data sources. You'll come to know, you'll understand now, right? Fine. Now let's start implementing this 4-step business applications process, guys. As I said that already, while implementing the business applications process, always it is recommended to start with what? Front end. Now, let's start implementing. Front end applications means what? Apps, websites, and then chatbots. These 3 will come under where? Front end. Now, try to understand one more point, guys. Let's say in order to go and understand this 4-step business applications process in a better way, in order to go and understand this 4-step business applications process in a better way, what I'm doing here is, you people, let us assume that we are going to implement this business applications process for one of these companies, any company it is. You can take any company. To understand this concept in a better way, let us assume that we are going to implement this business applications process for one of these companies. Let's take Swiggy company case. I'll take what's company? Swiggy. So let us assume that we are implementing this business applications process for which company? Swiggy company. Swiggy company is doing what business? Food business. Keep in mind these 2 points, guys. What 2 points? We are to understand this business applications process in a better way. Let us assume that we are implementing this business applications process for Swiggy company, and Swiggy company is doing what business? Food business, right? Okay. Now here, Swiggy company, they are ready with front-end applications, guys. Swiggy company is having one app. Let us assume they have one app, they have one website. Now Swiggy company, they are ready with front-end applications, right? Now, once if the company is ready with front-end applications, slowly they can start doing the business case. Slowly they can start doing the business, like testing their business functionality, promoting their business. Slowly they can start doing the business. As Swiggy company is selling some food items to the customers, let's say I'm the customer, guys. Let's say I'm the customer. Now I want to buy some food item from Swiggy. As a customer, if you want to buy some food item from the Swiggy, what we'll do? We'll go and first of all, we need to do what? We need to go and download and install the Swiggy app. As a customer, if you want to place an order, if you want to get some food item from the Swiggy, first of all, we need to download and install the Swiggy app in your mobile phones, correct? Yes. Once after downloading and installing the Swiggy app, next we'll do what? We'll go and place an order. Once the order is placed, within 30 minutes to 1 hour, once the order is placed, within 30 minutes to 1 hour, Swiggy company will deliver that food item to the customer, correct? This is what we know, guys. As a customer, what we know, whenever the order is placed in the app, it will take some time. Swiggy company will take some 30 minutes to 30 minutes to 1 hour, hardly 1 hour, guys, not more than that. So within 1 hour, Swiggy company will go and deliver that food item to the customer. This is what we know as a customer's case. But you need to understand one point here. So here, you are going to work as a Power Platform developer or a Power Apps developer, guys. You are going to work as what? Power Platform developer or a Power Apps developer. So as a Power Apps developer, you need to understand one point. What we need to understand here is, whenever the customer places an order, what happening internally means, what is happening in the backend is, customer is generating some business data, guys. But customer doesn't know. Customer will know that he is just placing an order. But whenever the customer places an order, what the customer is doing means, he is generating some business data for Swiggy company. What he is doing? Generating some business data for Swiggy company. Now, what kind of business data the customers will generate for Swiggy company? They will generate the orders data, guys, like order ID, sales price of that order, What's the profit of that order for Swiggy company? Profits data, food items data, which food item customer is placed the order, food items data, and also they'll generate what restaurants related data, which restaurant is preparing that food. And also they'll generate what customers related data, like who is the customer placing an order, customer ID, customer name, mobile number, delivery address, order date, order time, delivery date. So like this, it will generate some lot of information, guys. So this is all called as what? This is orders data. But here in the IT terminology, we don't call it as orders data, guys. We'll call it as business data. We'll call it as what? Business data. So now where the companies will store the data, guys? So, okay, we understand whenever the customer places an order, customer is generating some business data that is called as orders data, where the company will store that details of the orders placed by the customers. Try to understand. So whenever the order is placed in the app, what is happening internally means the complete details of that order automatically will comes into the data sources, guys. Whenever the order is placed, immediately the complete details of that order, it will comes into where? Data sources. So once the order is placed in the app, the complete details of that order automatically will comes into the data sources. Data sources contains what? Orders data. Orders data is also called as what? Business data. Let me keep that point here, guys. So whenever the order is placed in the app, the complete details of that order will comes into where? Data sources. Data sources contains what? Business data. So now, in which format companies will store the data in the data sources, guys? Companies will store the business data in the form of tables. Companies will store the business data in the form of what? Tables, guys, right? Okay. So still now we understand whenever the customer places an order in the app, the complete details of that order automatically will comes into the data sources. So data sources contains what? Business data. And in which format the companies will store the business data means they'll store the data in the form of tables, right? Okay, fine. And now the third step we'll understand about automations. Automation means what? Automation is nothing but sending the automated emails to the customers, or sending the automated text messages to the customers, or getting the approvals, auto approvals, approval process. These we can do automatically. These we can do automatically. Now we need to understand where the Swiggy company will go into the automations case. There are a lot of use cases where the Swiggy company will do the automations. But let me explain you one of the use case where Swiggy company will do the automations case, which we know as a customer. As a customer, we know it. Let me explain now. Where the Swiggy company will go into the automations means, now if you observe a case, if you observe people, if you observe, whenever the order is placed in the app, immediately Swiggy company, they will send one confirmation email to you. Once the order is placed in the app, once the order is placed successfully, Swiggy company will send one email to the customer that your order is placed successfully. And in the body of that email, you can see the details of the order ID, order details, the details of that order you can see. Now, someone can answer online people, whatever the emails Swiggy company is sending to the customers once the order is placed. Do people think that those mails are sent by the humans or not? Whatever the mails Swiggy company is sending to the customers once the order is placed, do you people think that those mails are sent by the humans or not? Yes or no?
No.
Please
No.
respond. There's nothing rocket science here, right?
These are auto-generated emails.
No, automatically.
No. So those are not sent by the humans, correct? So whatever the mails the Swiggy company is sending to the customers, those are not sent by the humans, guys. Those are automated emails. Now, why Swiggy company is sending the emails to the customers automatically? Why they are not using the humans to send those mails? Because there are two reasons, guys. There are two reasons. Majorly, there are two reasons. Let me explain what are those. Now try to understand here. How many customers will place the orders in the Swiggy app just for one day? Let us take for one day, guys, average number. In India, let's take in India, major cities like Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Kolkata, Pune, Mumbai. Let's take major cities. Now, how many customers will place the orders? Complete in India for one day? Thousands or lakhs? Let's take some number, guys. I'll take some average number. Let's take 50,000 orders are placed, or 50,000 customers are placing the orders. Now, for all the 50,000 customers, what the Swiggy company need to send one email or not? Once the order is placed, Swiggy company, they need to send one email, confirmation email to that user that your order is placed successfully. Yes or no? Yes, 50,000 emails to the customers. Not only sending the email to the customer, they need to send the email to the restaurant also. Which restaurant is preparing the food? For that restaurant, it needs to send one email that you need to prepare so and so food item. And also, the Swiggy company will send another email to the customer that once the order is delivered, it will send another email to the customer that your order is delivered successfully. Right? Now, how many mails here just for one day? 1.5 lakh emails. How many mails the Swiggy company need to send for one day? 1.5 lakh emails. Now, someone please answer. It is possible to send 1.5 lakh mails per day with the help of humans? Humans can able to send another 1.5 lakh mails? No. Correct. It is not possible, guys. Humans are not able to do it. But let us assume. But what Swiggy company decided here is, let us assume Swiggy is in the early stages, beginning stages of their business. Let us assume what Swiggy company decided here is, they decided to do this work with the help of humans only. So they are hiring some big manpower. They are hiring some big manpower. So to send 1.5 lakh mails, let's take they are hiring some thousands of employees. Let's take some average number. Let's take they're hiring some 30,000 employees just to send the emails. Let us assume, okay, maybe this 30,000 employees, maybe they can send 1.5 lakh mails per day. Okay, it is fine. Maybe it is reasonable. 30,000 employees, 1.5 lakh mails per day, maybe they can send. But the second point we need to understand here is, when the Swiggy company will send the email to the customer or to the restaurants, once the customer places an order, once the customer places an order in the app, immediately, within the fraction of seconds, guys, it doesn't take much time. Immediately, within the fraction of seconds, Swiggy company will send the email to the customers and also to the restaurants. So it doesn't take much time, guys. Within a fraction of seconds, hardly it will take 4 to 5 seconds, not more than that. Now tell me, guys, even though you have 30,000 employees, these 30,000 employees, they can able to send the emails within 4 to 5 seconds by understanding which order the customer is placed, what is that order's data, and understanding the customer details, and then composing the email, sending that email to the customer in 4 to 5 seconds. It is possible with the help of these 30,000 employees. Even though you have 30,000 employees, they can able to at least compose the mail in 4 to 5 seconds. No,
it's not possible.
They're not able to do it, guys. Even though you have 1 lakh employees here, if you want to do this kind of work with the help of humans, no, it is not possible. If you want to do this kind of work with the help of humans, no, humans are not able to do it, guys. So this kind of work will called as, repeated work process. Repeated work process. This kind of work will called as what? Repeated work process. So every company will have this kind of work process, guys. If you want to do this work process with the help of humans, no, it is not possible. So they are doing this work with the help of systems or some softwares. If you are doing some work with the help of systems or softwares, then we'll call it as what? Automation. So now we understand where Swiggy company will go on to the automations, right? And next, finally, one more point, data analysis. Data analysis means what? Showing the data in the form of visuals or in the form of reports. Showing the data in the form of visuals or in the form of reports. Now, as we know that already, if you want to create the visuals or reports, first of all, we need to have what? Data. First of all, we need to have what? Data. Already we know where the companies will store the data. Already we know that where the companies will store the data?
Data source.
In the data sources, correct. In the data sources, companies will store the data in the form of what?
Either Excel or else
Table.
Tables, correct? Tabular format. So now let's take, there is one table, guys. The table name is sales table. As I'm discussing about sales data or orders data, let's take, there is a table called sales table. Sales is nothing but orders. Now in this table, let us assume I'm having the 10 million sales records. How many sales data is there? 10 million sales records is there. Now, if you have this kind of data, millions of records in a table, then it is possible for you to understand this data. Let's take, there are, don't take 10 million. Let's take 1 lakh rows is there in one table. Now you can understand what data is there in the table. It is not possible. So if the data is in the form of tables, then if you want to understand that data, it is not possible. So now what companies are doing here is, in order to go and understand the data, which is in the tables, what companies are doing now? Companies are showing the whatever the data is there in the form of tables, they are showing the data in the form of visuals or reports, guys. What companies are doing? Whatever the data is there in the form of tables, they are showing that data in the form of visuals or reports, right? So once after showing the data in the form of visuals or reports, then by seeing these visuals or reports, what the companies will do? By seeing these visuals or reports, companies will do what? They'll go and analyze the data. They'll do what? Analyze the data. So nowadays, most of the companies are preferred to analyze the business data in the form of visuals or reports, guys. Why? Because, let me explain that point. Let me show you one report so that you'll understand a better way. Why most of the companies are preferred to analyze their business data in the form of visuals or reports means, because it is easy for the business users to understand their business data, guys. When if you show that data in the form of visuals or in the form of reports. So here I'm creating one, this is one report, guys. What report is? Sales report. It is one sales report. I'm showing some sales data here. So if you see, there is a table called, say, orders table. I'm taking the same table, orders table. We have how many rows here? 10,000. Near 10,000 orders data is there, like order ID, order date, shipping mode. We have this kind of data. So let's take, there is a column here. There is a column, region, simple example case. There is a column called region column. Now, these are the regions they are doing the business. Now I want to understand region wise, what is the sales they are doing. Now it is possible for you to understand region wise what sales they are doing if the data is in the form of table. No, guys, it is not possible to understand this data. So now what I'm doing here, in order to go and understand this data in a better way, I'm creating some visuals or reports here. If you see now here in this report, what I'm showing the total quantity. That means total number of products they are selling. Next, total sales, total profit, total orders placed, number of orders placed, total discounts they are providing to the customers. And here I'm showing what sales by category. So which category is doing what sales? You can see here, by seeing this visual, easily you can understand. These are the 3 categories. Which category is doing the highest sales? This is the one. How much time it will be taking for us here to understand category-wise sales? It is taking fraction of seconds, guys. And also you can see here I am showing the region-wise sales. Now, by seeing this visual, easily we can understand, guys, which region is doing the highest sales, which region is doing the less sales, right? And also, if you hover the mouse on this, it is showing some tooltip. It will show us the region, which region it is, central. What is the sales for the central? Percentage also. It is showing the percentage of sales also. So that's why if the data is in the form of visuals or report, then it is easy for the business organizers to understand their business data. It is easy for the business users to understand the business data. So this is about what's meant by visuals or a report, guys. Now we understand this 4-step business applications process. We understand what is meant by front-end applications. We understand what's meant by data sources. We understand what's meant by automations. And also we understand what is meant by data analysis. Now my requirement, I want to implement this business applications process using Power Platform. Before that, let me keep these points, guys. Whatever I discussed still now, let me list out those points here. First, let me keep here the front-end applications. What is front-end applications? Front-end applications is nothing but what? Creating the apps, comma, websites, comma, chatbot. These three comes under the front-end applications. Right? Fine. And next, data sources. I said that what's meant by data sources? The place where the companies will store their business data is known as data sources. And next, automation. I said that what's meant by automation? Automation is nothing but doing certain repeated work automatically without any human interactions. If you're doing some work automatically without any human interactions, we'll call it as automation. And then finally, data analysis. What's meant by data analysis? No. Data analysis means it is one process, guys. A process of converting the business data into actionable information. Why am actionable information means what? Actionable information means visuals or reports. Now, why I'm calling this visuals or reports as an actionable information? Because by seeing these visuals, they'll take some actions, guys. Let's take by seeing this visual, they'll come to know South region is doing very less sales. So immediately they'll take an action. What actions? Let's take they'll conduct one meeting with the South region sales manager. They'll come to know what the reasons behind it, why they are doing very less sales, and they'll take some necessary actions to increase the sales in the South region, right? Fine. So that's why I mentioned this word called actionable information. By seeing the visuals, they are taking some actions. That's why I'm calling it as actionable information. So this is all about the business applications process, guys. Now my requirement, I want to implement this business applications process using Power Platform. How to implement the business applications using Power Platform? I want to implement this 4-step business applications process with the help of Power Platform. Let's try to understand how to implement, guys. So before going to understand it, first of all, let me keep here what is Power Platform. What is Power Platform? As we know that, guys, already Power Platform is used for what? Here already discussed. Here I said that Power Platform is used for what? Already we know that Power Platform is used for what?
To implement business applications.
Correct. Power Platform is used to implement. It is used to implement the business applications process of an organization. Simple. It is used to implement the business applications process of an organization, right? So now let's try to understand how to implement it. Now I want to go and implement this 4-step business applications process. This 4-step business applications process using Power Platform. Now how to implement this business applications process using Power Platform? So now before going to start discussing about this, we need to understand one more point here, guys. What is that Power Platform architecture? We need to understand one more point called what? Power Platform architecture. So now what is the architecture of Microsoft Power Platform? Already we know this is what the architecture is. So let's try to understand the architecture first. So first, you hear, as we know that Power Platform is used for what? First point, as we know that Power Platform is used for what? It is used to implement the four-step business applications process. Is the first point. Already we know. Using Power Platform, we can implement the four-step business applications process. And now, second point we need to understand here is Power Platform means don't think that it is a single software. Power Platform means don't think that it is a single software. Power Platform means it is not a single software. Power Platform means it's a collection of softwares. So what are the different softwares we'll have, you'll understand. For now, keep in mind these 2 points, right? Now let's start understanding about the architecture. So now, as we know, Power Platform is used to implement the four-step business applications process. In the four-step business applications process, always start with what? Front end. Now, to implement the front-end applications, to implement what? Now, to implement the front-end applications is the first step. Here we have the different softwares. To implement the front application, there are different softwares we'll have. One is Power Apps, Power Pages, Power Virtual Agent. These are 3 softwares we'll have to implement the front end. Once after front end, second step is what? Data sources. So second, we need to implement what? Data sources. Now here, if you want to store the business data, within the Power Platform, if you want to store your business data within the Power Platform, then go and use what? Dataverse. What is Dataverse means? Dataverse is an inbuilt data storage software. Dataverse is an inbuilt data storage software within the Power Platform. That means if you want to store the business data within the Power Platform, go and use Dataverse, guys. Otherwise, not only Dataverse, it will support to store the data in the other data sources also, like SQL Server, SharePoint, Oracle, MySQL, Excel, CSV, SAP, HANA, Dynamics. Like this, it will support almost all the data sources, guys, not 1 or 2. It will support to store the data in hundreds and thousands of data sources. But inbuilt is what? Inbuilt is Dataverse. So if you want to store the business data within the Power Platform, then go and use Dataverse, guys, right? Fine, okay. Next one, this is step 2. Once after data sources, next third step is what? Automations. Now to perform the automations, we'll go and use which software? There is a software to perform the automations. That is what? Power Automate. And next, finally, data analysis. Now to perform the data analysis, we'll have one software here called what? Power BI. Microsoft Power BI. What is Power BI? Power BI is a data analytics software, which is used for what? To create the visuals or the reports. So now these are all the different softwares we'll have in the Power Platform, guys. So with the help of this collection of softwares in the Power Platform, we are able to implement the business applications process. Now, let me go and mention that point here, guys. As we come to know that Power Platform is not a single software. So Power Platform is not a single software.
Hello.
Power Platform
Like
is
really
a
music channel.
collection of softwares. Power Platform is what? Online people, please be unmute. Please be unmute. So Power Platform is a collection of softwares. Now, what are the different softwares we'll have here? Let me list out those, guys. The first one I'm keeping here what? Power Apps. The second one I'll go and keep here Power Automate. Third one I'm keeping here Power BI. Power BI. Next, the fourth one is Power Pages. Power Virtual Agent. And finally, the sixth one is Dataverse. Dataverse. These are the 6 softwares we'll have. Now, we'll understand with the help of this collection of softwares, how to implement this 4-step business applications process, right? Let's start implementing this. First, let me start with what? Front end. So in the front end, first I want to get what? Apps. Now to create the apps, go and use which software? Power Apps. To get the apps, go and use which software? Power Apps. So what is Power Apps? Power Apps is used to create apps or the forms within the Power Platform. If you want to create the apps or the forms within the Power Platform, then go and use what? Power Apps. Right. And next, I want to create some websites. To create the websites, go and use what? Power Pages. Right. Let me keep. What is the use of this Power Pages now? Power Pages is used to create the websites. Power Pages is used to create the secured web pages. If you want to create any websites, go and use Power Pages. Try to understand one point here. In the Power Platform terminology, we don't call it as websites, guys. We'll call it as what? Web pages, right? And next, thought I want to create the chartboard. To create the chartboards, go and use what? Power Virtual Agent. What is the Power Virtual Agent? This Power Virtual Agent is used to create the AI chartboards. It is used to create what? The AI chartboard. Chartboard means what, guys? It is just like a customer support. It is just like what? It is just like a customer support. Right. So now we're done with front end. Next, second step is what? Data sources. Already said that. What is the data source software we'll have in the Power Platform? Dataverse. So now what is Dataverse? Let me keep here. Dataverse is a database software. It is a database software which is used to store the business data within the Power Platform. If you want to store the business data within the Power Platform, go and use Dataverse. If you want to store the data outside of the Power Platform, means yes, you can use the different data sources like SQL, SharePoint, Oracle, MySQL, Excel, CSV. You can use all these different types of data sources, right? Fine.
Yeah, we can
And
able
next,
to. Sorry
please
to-
make a note. Please make a note.
Okay.
I'll take the questions at the end of the session. Just give me some couple of minutes of time. Within 5 minutes, I'm done with the session. I'll take the questions. Next, third step, I need to do the automations. Now, to perform the automations, then go and use which software? Power Automate. Now, what is Power Automate? Let me keep here, guys. Power Automate is an automation software. Which is used to automate repeated work process, right? So as I said that already, every company will have some work process, guys. There is no doubt. Every company will have some repeated work process. Now I want to automate that process. To automate that process, I need to have an automation software. What that software I'm using here? Power Automate. So Power Automate is an automation software which is used to automate what work? Repeated work. Next, finally, the fourth step, data analysis. To perform the data analysis, go and use what? Power BI. So what is Power BI? Power BI is a data analytics software which is used to analyze the business data stored in data sources. Whatever the business data stored in the data sources, to analyze that data, we'll go and use what? Power BI software, right? So now we understand with the help of this collection of softwares, how to implement this 4-step business applications process. Now we come to know how to implement this business applications process with the help of this collection of softwares, right? Okay, fine. So this is all about Power Platform, guys. And also one more point, whatever the 6 softwares I listed here and their usages, if you observe the same 6 points I mentioned in the beginning of this today's class also. I said that what Power Platform can do. These are the 6 things which we can implement in the Power Platform. So now to create apps, what the software will go and use? Power Apps. To create the websites, go and use what? Power Pages. To create the chartboard, go and use what? Power Virtual Agent. To do the automations, go and use what? Power Automate. To store the data, go and use what? Dataverse. And to do the data analysis, go and use what? Power BI. So whatever the software, whatever the 6 points I listed here, the same I'm mentioning here also by the end of this today's class, guys. So I done with the session. This is what the complete introduction to Power Platform. So in today's class, what we discussed, we understand what is Power Platform. We understand what is business applications, and we understand how to implement the business applications using Power Platform software. We understand how to implement the business applications using Power Platform. And also we understand the Power Platform architecture. Next, we come to know that what things we can implement with the help of Power Platform. And then next we understand the who will use Power Platform and who will hire the Power Platform developers. And then next we understand what is the need of business applications and how to implement these business applications using Power Platform. So while implement the business applications, there is one process we need to follow. That process called as what? Business applications process. Now it is a how many step process? 4 steps. These are the 4 steps involved in this. So we understand what each step will do. And then finally, next we understand how to implement this 4-step business applications process with the help of this collection of softwares in the Power Platform. Right. So I'm done with the session. So now I'll take the questions. Before going to take the questions, make a note. I'll take the questions, just a couple of minutes. Make a note. I'll copy something from here. I'll just go and copy something from here because to write everything, it will take some lot of time. Just copy from here to here. Copy and paste. And now try to understand, guys. Make a note. So when the new batch will start, let us consider today is the demo. Today is the demo. When the new batch will start now. New batch will start from Wednesday onwards. We'll start the new batch when? Wednesday onwards. From Wednesday, we'll start the new batch. So what is the date? It is 22nd of July. So new batch will start from 22nd of July. That is on Wednesday. So new batch will start from Wednesday. Let us consider today is an introduction class or a demo. So continuation of today's class is on when? From Wednesday onwards, we'll start our batch. And what is the batch timings, guys? The batch timings will be in evening batch. Evening 7:30 to 9. 7:30 to 9 p.m. So the session will be for 1 to 1.5 hours, guys. It depends on the content. So it depends on the content we are discussing. So the session will be from 1 hour to 1.5 hour session. So daily the class timings will be 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. guys. So now when will be the continuation of today's class? 22nd of July, coming Wednesday. What's the batch timing? Evening 7:30 to 9 p.m. daily 1 to 1.5 hour session. And second point, coming 2 more classes are free, guys. So here you have the access to attend the 3 free classes. You don't want to pay any amount to us, 3 free classes. So today is the first class. Coming 2 more classes are free. That means Wednesday and Thursday, 22 and 23 of July. Those 2 dates you can attend for free. Now what I'll discuss there in the coming 2 more free classes, we'll discuss practicals, guys. So practically at a high level, we'll understand how Power Platform softwares will work. So here in today's class, I haven't shown you even 1 point practical, guys. Every point I shown you theoretically here in today's class, right? So now, whatever I discuss theoretically here in today's class, I'll show you each and every point practically in the coming classes. So in the next coming 2 to 3 classes, I'll show you how to create an app in the Power App. And then I will show you how to store that data in the data sources. And then I'll show you how to take the data from the data sources and how to do some automations. And also I will show you by taking the data from the data sources, how we'll create the visuals or reports. We'll discuss this. Practically at a high level, we'll discuss about this business applications process in the next coming 2 to 3 classes. So as I'm going to discuss some practicals and it is free of cost. So try to attend those free classes, guys. So where you will get some practical knowledge. Once of completion of this free classes, if you are able to understand what I'm discussing, if you are able to catch the points, then you can people can register, right? This is what the batch starting date, from what date and time the batch will start. And next, coming to today's class, once after completion of this class, I'll be sending one email to you people. You'll get one mail now within half an hour. So in that mail, what you'll get, I'll share the today's class notepad. This complete notes, I will share it with you. Along with the class notes, I will share what recorded video also. Today's class video also I will share. Along with that, I'll share what course content. I think all of you received the content. If not, I will share the course content also with you guys. I will share you the course content also with you. Here it is. Let me go here. So this is the course content. So I think all of you people received it. If not, anyway, I'll share no. Power Apps and Power Automate course content. So here I listed the topics. Clearly, I listed topic wise what we are going to discuss in the coming classes. So I'll request you people, please go and walk through the content once, so that you'll come to know what I am going to cover in the coming classes. It will be around 15 pages of content. You please go and refer this content once, right? And then duration, how many months the course duration is? 2 months. How many months the course duration it is? 2 months, daily 1 to 1.5 hour session. It be in the weekdays only, Monday to Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, mostly we don't have the classes, right? And so 2 months is the duration. Within 2 months, we'll complete the course. There is no doubt in that. But even after completion of the course, you have the access to attend the live classes. Live classes access is up to how many months? 6 months, guys. So we'll provide the access to attend the live classes up to 6 months from the date of joining. Why? Because keeping in mind the different reasons from the student's point of view. Due to some personal reasons, they are not able to complete attending the live sessions within the 2 months. They are missing few classes, or they are not able to attend the classes in between. So keeping in mind all the reasons from the students, I'm giving enough time for you to attend the live sessions up to 6 months from the date of joining, right? And next, I said that 2 months is the duration, right? In this 2 months, what the skills you are going to learn? Skills you will learn. So these are all the skills you are going to learn, guys. We are going to more concentrate on Power Apps and Power Automate. These are the 2 skills I'm going to cover in this 2 months of course. So within the Power Apps, we are going to discuss about the Canvas apps. And within the Power Automate, we are going to discuss about Cloud Flows. These are the 2 skills, Power Apps and Power Automate. These are the 2 major skills we are going to concentrate more in this 2 months of course. So both Power Apps and Power Automate, we are going to discuss from basics to advanced, guys. From the scratch, from basics to advanced, we'll cover here. So once of completion of this course, you people can comfortably keep maximum of 3 years of experience. 3 years of experience you can keep, that much knowledge you can gain here. Because this content is not designed for freshers, keeping in mind freshers. This content is designed keeping in mind both freshers and experienced people. So after completion of this course, maximum you can keep 3 years of relevant experience in Power Apps and Power Automate, right? Now, along with these 2 skills, we'll be discussing some SharePoint concepts. We'll be discussing some Dataverse concepts, and also SQL Server. Why I'm taking these means these are all called as data sources. Why I'm taking only these data sources means because in the real-time scenarios, almost in every project, if you take any project, they'll go and use either SharePoint or either Dataverse or SQL. These are the most commonly used databases in almost all the projects, right? So I'll take this databases as a reference while discussing about this Power Apps and Power Automate concepts, right? So these are all the skills you are going to learn in this 2 months of course duration. And next, coming to the registered people, those who got registered with us, what things you will get, guys? Registered students, you'll get the notepad, everyday class notes. How I am writing some running notes here. Every day you have some running notes, guys. First 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I'll give the running notes to you. And next around more than 1 hour, practicals will be there. So everyday class notes I will share. Most importantly, I will share all the recordings. All the recordings. You have the access for the recordings up to 2 years. How many years? 2 years. And also we'll share the interview question answers, resumes, projects, and conduct the mock interviews. Apart from this, what additional you'll get? License. So if you want to practice Power Apps, Power Automate, SharePoint, Dataverse, these softwares, you need to have the Microsoft 365 developer account, guys. Developer account. If you want to purchase this license, it will be around 5,000 per month, 5,000 plus per month. So you don't want to purchase this license, guys. We'll provide it for free of cost up to 6 months. We'll provide the license of Microsoft 365 developer account up to 6 months for practice purpose, right? And next, as I said, that live classes access is up to 6 months from the date of joining. These are all the add-ons you people will get who got registered. And next, coming to the Power Platform training, we have one WhatsApp community, guys. I think most of the people, 50% of the people is not joining in the community. I don't know why you people are not joining there. So I'm keeping the community link in the chat box. You please join there. What the advantage of joining in the community is, first point, today's class video, today's class notes, next new batch details, new batch Zoom link, everything I will update in the same community. If you join the community, then you can get all the updates. And also, if there is any new batches, or if there is any new courses launching regarding Power Platform, I'll keep on updating those things in the same community. So if you want to get the latest updates regarding the Power Platform training, then you can join in that community, guys. I'm keeping that community link in the chat box. Use that link and you can join the community so that you'll get the latest updates. Even today's class video, class notes, next coming new batch details, everything I'll update there, right? Fine. And also I'm keeping the front office team details here, front office team contact numbers. So if you have any questions regarding the course details and the fees details, other batch timings, you can reach out to my team, guys. I mentioned I am providing the front office team details also here, right? Now go with the questions. Now, before going to take the questions from your end, there is a most commonly asking question, guys. Most commonly asking question. What is that? Is there any prerequisites to learn Power Apps and Power Automate? So you are going to learn Power Apps and Power Automate here, right? So now you need to have any prior knowledge. Is there any prerequisite to learn Power Apps and Power Automate? The answer is no. There is no prerequisites to learn Power Apps and Power Automate, guys. So here, why? Because in Power Apps or in Power Automate, majority of the work, 60 to 70% of the work, 60 to 70% of the work will be done with the help of GUI options. That means drag and drop. Remaining 30 to 40% of the work will be done by using the functions, simple functions like Excel function. How we'll have the functions in Excel, same type of functions is there. So here we don't require any programming, guys, like C, Java, Python, .NET. No, it is not required to learn this, right? So as majority of the work will be done using GUI, remaining work also done just by using some functions. So anybody can learn this course, guys. So people, those who are working in non-IT, if you want to switch your careers to IT, or people, those who want to upskill, or people, those who want to switch their career, people, those who have any career gap, even freshers, everyone can learn this technology. Why? Because the first advantage is no coding is required. And majority of the work will be done just by drag and drop, right? Fine. So this is all about what is Power Platform. So I done the session here. So continuation of today's class is on when, guys? Wednesday, coming Wednesday, 22nd July. What is the timing for that batch? Evening 7:30 to 9 p.m. Daily 1 to 1.5 hour sessions will be there. So, so I'll see you on the next class on Wednesday at evening 7:30 p.m. So what we'll discuss there? Practicals. I'll show you practically at a high level how to implement this business applications. So, right? Fine. Okay. I'll stop here now. Now, if you have any questions, online people, now you can please raise your hands and I'll talk to you one-on-one. Please raise your hands, talk to you one-on-one.